So yes, again, with this Kaioken versus Ultra Instinct debate, because I did this again on stream. It was a while ago. A lot of people were saying, hey Steve, what do you think about Ultra Instinct? And I had nothing good to say about it. I don't really think Ultra Instinct was that well executed. I don't think it was really properly done at all. It didn't even properly build up to it either. It just kind of showed up in the middle of nowhere. Unlike Kaioken, which Goku did have to train with beforehand. And King Kai explicitly said, remember, don't use the version that goes this high, because that's bad for you. But instead of just going, oh, hey, here's a big limitation on the move that you shouldn't go past. Instead of it being a, oh, this is the danger zone kind of area, instead it becomes more of a hype moment when Goku actually passes that moment. Passes that threshold. But when in Ultra Instinct, they don't even tell you what it's gonna be. He just turns it on and Whis like, yeah, I totally was training from this the whole time. And then it's never established that it has a limit. And then when it suddenly backfires, it's like, oh, okay, cool. What? To me, Ultra Instinct is just a stronger version of Kaioken. I know everyone wants to argue it's a technique that makes you dodge. Oh, Steve, it's not transformation, it's a technique. It's not transformation, it's a technique. It's not transformation, it's a technique. If it's not a transformation, why does he visually undergo massive changes? It's not like Kaioken where you can just argue that it's shading the color of his aura. This is actually changing this motherfucker's hair to white and his eyes to white. And when it was in its sign version, it just changes its eyes to white, meaning it's not just coating his entire ki, it's actually changing the layers of his body. Kaioken very obviously puts like a weird reddish tinge on your ki. Basically, if someone put like a kind of like, I don't know, what are those weird like sheets, right? Someone put like a weird like sheeting or coating of like a glass or like kind of like cling film like material, but it was shaded in red. Everything past that point would look red. But let's just say it's like that, but an orb around Goku. That's why anyone looking at him would just see red. Maybe Goku sees red from the inside, but we don't know how the ki works on his perspective, so who knows. Compared to Ultra Instinct, where it's actually like a visual difference. If you want to argue that some transformations don't cause visual differences, and some that do cause visual differences aren't even transformations, that's fine too. But the fact that Ultra Instinct objectively makes you stronger than Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue times 20, no. You can't argue that base form Goku, because he's not using his spare time to react to things, can now suddenly do way more fucking damage and is way faster. That's just dumb. If you do want to argue that, that's fine, but that's just bad writing. I'm sorry. That's just bad writing. You just have to chalk it up to bad writing. Base form Goku, the same guy who's Kamehameha, cannot penetrate Jiren's shield. It can now suddenly land clean hits on Jiren and go blow for blow with him without a transformation happening. Oh, because he's not using the time now to think and react. Now he can suddenly touch Jiren. No. That shouldn't change the fact that Jiren's ki should still be so fucking high that the time it takes for you to react being gone shouldn't make you powerful enough to go through the barrier. Let's say, right, that you put a metal wall between me and a wall, right? And I'm like, oh crap, I can't run through this metal wall. Let's say suddenly now that I have the ability to move without thinking. That's not going to let me go through the metal wall. I'm not strong enough to do that. So, I don't really want to argue whether it's a transformation or technique for this video, because it's just me comparing it to Kaioken and talking about how it's an over-glorified version of Kaioken. But it's really a transformation. It's always referred to as a form. Toriyama himself called it the ultimate form. If you want to say death to the author, Toriyama's just wrong. There's cases of that, right? You can apply that to writers a lot of the time when the writer goes, actually, this is how it works. But then you're like, but according to earlier in the series, it didn't work like that. Also, by logic reasoning, it doesn't work like that. Then fair enough. But it's all like, everything points to Ultra Instinct being a form. You can't argue it's a technique. It's so clearly a form. I mean, I don't know if it's even possible to train the Kaioken technique, because Goku only goes so high with his Kaioken over time, like times 20 against Frieza and times 10 against here. And times 20 against Jiren, you know, so on and so forth, right? If possible, I would suggest, why doesn't Goku just train for Kaioken? Ultra Instinct is kind of bad, and, well, it's more so the writing, right? But it's not really useful. If Ultra Instinct is supposed to make you think about moving, and you're supposed to be able to do all of these, like, other different things, and the body can now think on its own and react, and do all of its own stuff, shouldn't have Goku been able to dodge Granola's attack no matter what? Because if his body can think on its own, then even if Goku's concentrated on something else, shouldn't he still be able to dodge something he's not aware of or not looking at? it's just a regular transformation. But if Goku had focused on training Kaioken, I guess it makes sense that Goku stopped training Kaioken after he unlocked Super Saiyan, right? Super Saiyan had unstable ki control. Even as a mastered Super Saiyan against Cell, he didn't even attempt Kaioken. He saved it all the way up until Dragon Ball Super against Hit, because God Ki is more refined to use, so therefore Kaioken makes more sense to use. Okay, whatever, fair enough. But if Goku had trained Kaioken more, he would have just been slapping everybody's ass. He doesn't need Ultra Instinct. This guy has barely had Kaioken, and he was able to somewhat use it against Frieza, right? Kaioken times 20. The last time he used it was times 3 or 4 against Vegeta when he was doing the Kamehameha Clash, and that destroyed his whole body. And there was barely any time between that and fighting Frieza where Goku had spare time to use Kaioken, and he trained all the way up to 20 and was able to use it effectively without too much damage left on himself. And Frieza didn't have many options against that Kaioken times 20. Even after not using Kaioken for a goddamn eternity, he was able to just pull it out of his ass against Hit while using Super Saiyan Blue for the first time, and even said, good thing that worked, because if it didn't, I would have just destroyed myself. And obviously off screen, he was able to train it to Kaioken times 20 Super Saiyan Blue against Jiren. Well, not times 20, but with the Spirit Bomb on top of it, right? So with the little time that Goku has, he's clearly able to increase the power of Kaioken by an absurd level, the same way he does for all of his other transformations. And if Kaioken is such a ridiculous amp, then why even waste your time with Ultra Instinct? Just train your Kaioken all the way up to like times 80. That's just... I think times 80 is stronger than Ultra Instinct Sign. If he got his Kaioken up to times 80, at least with Super Saiyan Blue on as well, they'll definitely be stronger than Ultra Instinct Sign. And I don't know what it takes to be stronger than the full version, but at least you're aware of what you're doing and your stamina isn't draining like mad. Like maybe Kaioken is always a stamina draining technique, right? Okay, fair enough. But both Kaioken and Ultra Instinct are untrained, and one of them Goku has mastered and it still sucks. So yeah, you might as well at least experiment with Kaioken at this point, because the Ultra Instinct is not looking so good. The automatic dodge, like who cares? It's only useful when you're in forms where you can't actually beat your enemy. I would say Ultra Instinct is actually better for running away from your enemies. It's only good against enemies that are stronger than you, so you can run away from them. The second you can overpower someone by such a ridiculous degree of Ultra Instinct, it basically means nothing, because it's only good for a few seconds. And if you want to argue, well, Goku was wasting his stamina by using it in his earlier forms beforehand, well, that means it's just bad. It's still bad. He only barely used it to dodge a few attacks in those earlier forms. Don't forget, these are characters that all move faster than like the speed of light. So he wasn't even using it for like a second when he was doing it all those times before. And it had no energy now. It really used up. So, hold on, if Goku using in all of his other forms really screwed over his energy so he could only maintain it at its peak for a few seconds against Granola, then what about the whole Tournament of Power where he was using it in Ultra Instinct Sign and getting bodied and not doing anything other than beating Kefla, and he still had enough energy to mollywop Jiren for like a minute? Again, I don't know, it could just be me complaining about the writing of Dragon Ball and then making it to its own video because I'm bored. Or it's an actual genuine thing that Kaioken is just accidentally written to be better than Ultra Instinct. You just need to train with it, and it would just be better than Ultra Instinct. Again, when Goku did attain the Kaioken, he just grabbed it and then had to head out because he wanted to go help his friends. If he stayed there for longer, God knows how far he could have pushed for Kaioken, right? And now that Goku is a stronger expertise fighter on his own, who's met Supreme Kai and trained with Beerus and Whis and all these other people, he should be able to push the Kaioken even higher than King Kai would know how far it could go. But instead, no, it's like, oh, Ultra Instinct is the new fancy thing. He now dodges with the Ultra Instinct and it gives him the new shiny white hair, and that makes a good toy, and it's also a good unit in Dokkan and Legends. So the Ultra Instinct Goku, that's the new mojo. Not to mention, Toyotaro does right things with meeting fan expectation in mind. Because if people want to argue, oh, the manga's canon, if the manga's so canon, why does he go out his way to borrow things from like the anime to use in his own thing? If you believe the manga is canon, then that means that he added Vegito of his own will and not to meet fan expectation, even though he already said that. So we're not arguing over the manga's canon. It's not. It's plain and simple. I know people want to believe the manga's canon because of the way mangas normally work, but the Dragon Ball Super manga came out after the anime did, so I don't know how people trick themselves into believing it came out before. Actually, I'm curious now, if Ultra Instinct isn't even that good and you can actually just blow through it with enough training, could Jiren have, like, just beat Ultra Instinct Goku? Like, technically, if it's not an auto dodge and Goku can still be caught off guard, Jiren should have actually hit him at some point and done massive damage. Don't get me wrong, in the anime he does do that, right? But Goku apparently just gets up as if he took almost no damage. That's anime writing, right? But I don't remember how it went in the manga. So I think Goku just slapped him in the manga from my recall, actually. I know he still does the Miracle of Universe 7 attack, or whatever it's called, with Frieza in the manga, to meet fan expectation. Something else that doesn't help Ultra Instinct's case is the inconsistency of Ultra Instinct, because it's being done by two different people. You have the staff of Toei and Toyotaro, again, of course. So the inconsistencies also don't help Ultra Instinct. For people who genuinely, seriously believe that the manga is the canon version of Dragon Ball Super, if anything, there is no canon version, but all forms of media follow the anime, so if anything, the anime is what most people stick to if you know, use common sense and reasoning to go, oh, everything uses the anime as the source material, which the anime is probably the source material. It's not, but it would make sense to believe the anime is. But for people who genuinely believe the manga is, Ultra Instinct in the manga might actually make you weaker the longer it's on. So it's even worse than it is in the anime. In the anime, Goku continuously powers up until he reaches his peak power, in which his power never declines at all from that point further. The only time it ever hits a limit is after it's been on for too long, and he explodes, as we all famously know. But in the manga, thanks to all the different crap that Whis and Granola say, the Whitehead's form of Ultra Instinct, or Silverhead's form as Granola calls it, actually gets way weaker over time. And full power, or true Ultra Instinct, or perfect Ultra Instinct Goku, whatever he calls it, right? That Goku did not fight Granola for that long. He hit him a few times. He literally only fought him for a few seconds. And then his power dropped so much, they went from bodying Granola to just getting one shot. Also, it's not really a perfect auto dodge either. It's literally just a speed boost. I know people want to say it's a technique, but it really isn't. It's just a speed boost. If it was a technique that made your body react on its own, then Goku should have been able to dodge Granola's attack. Unless you were telling me that Ultra Instinct Goku, after it's been turned on for a few seconds, could never dodge Granola's attack. Like, it's either that it's not a technique that dodges everything, which is why he got hit, or it's a technique that dodges everything, but because Goku wasn't fast enough, it didn't attempt to dodge that attack. Meaning it's just a bad strat. That means it's just worse than Kaioken. It's literally just stronger. That's the only thing going for it. It's stronger for a few seconds, and then after that, turn it off. Actually, why am I talking about Ultra Instinct getting caught off guard when Jiren was able to block Hit's attack while finishing off Ultra Instinct Goku, but couldn't do anything about 17 grabbing his shoulder, telling him, hold on, I've got something for you, and then pushing a slow ki blast into his back? I keep forgetting that this is Dragon Ball. Either way, so far it seems like Ultra Instinct is already, I mean, Ultra Instinct is basically the new Super Saiyan Blue in the manga. Goku just spams it against everything. Even in Dragon Ball Super Broly, they were able to hold back on the urge to just shove Ultra Instinct in everything. They just slightly hinted at it. I mean, I know some people want to say Goku wasn't trying to go Ultra Instinct because Vegeta's hair turns green earlier. Vegeta's hair turning green when he's going Super Saiyan is so obviously visual flair. Goku having a Whitehead form already pre-established and taking on the exact shade of that Whitehead form just to fall out of it and go Super Saiyan Blue makes complete sense. As you already said, I can't do it at will before, so I don't know. I feel like Dragon Ball fans smoke way too much before entering any debate. Like, how does common stuff not just occur to you? I mean, that could be ironic, right? Because there's probably some part in the video where I forgot to mention something important, so maybe I'm the one who smokes a bit too much before I enter debate. But again, that's the point of the comment section. You guys can tell me what you think in the comment section about any of these things I'm bringing up. So yeah, I don't really think there's anywhere else to go with this video. I think that would be a good place to end the video. Again, the 2 points or arguments I'm making is that Kaioken is either way better than Ultra Instinct now, because Ultra Instinct is just a flawed piece of shit that doesn't even dodge everything. Also, yes, it is a transformation, because I just remember that Moro's mane and his eyes also turn white when he gets Ultra Instinct. Moro, I don't know if Moro can copy techniques or not, right? But even if it was a technique, why the fuck would it turn even his, like, goat hair that surrounds his body white? You can't trick anyone into saying that's a technique. That's so clearly a transformation. Yeah, I have a technique that makes me turn into a 50-foot kaiju, and I can start shooting energy beams at my mouth. It's no transformation, I swear. I guess the words can be used interchangeably, but that doesn't matter. I think that's a good place to end the video again. The debate is whether Kaioken is better than Ultra Instinct, thanks to the writing of the manga. Whether the manga is canon or not, in the manga, Kaioken would have been better than Ultra Instinct. Right now, there's really no reason to have Ultra Instinct. Having overwhelming power seems way better, because Goku was using Ultra Instinct to dodge Granola's blasts, and he got hit by a blast. And Vegeta did not get hit by a blast and told him, you rely on Ultra Instinct too much. Ultra Instinct got Goku hit by a blast, but Vegeta, who does not have Ultra Instinct, was fucking fine. So, you might as well just have overwhelming power in the manga. But again, yeah, it's either Kaioken is better than Ultra Instinct in the manga, or Dragon Ball Super's writing is so bad that we can basically just forget about all of this and go back to accepting Ultra Instinct is the strongest form. It's just inconsistent like everything else in Dragon Ball. Again, obviously what you believe, let me know in the comment section down below. If you don't believe anything and you hated the video, you can just dislike the video. Obviously, if you want to show support or you agree with anything, or just think, hey, this was a nice video, maybe I want to keep it in my tabs so I can come back to it later. So I can maybe just listen to some of these things or whatever. You can leave a like on the video, right? And you can subscribe if you like what you see and if you want to stay tuned to anything else I feel like ranting about. You know, I'll probably just put Xenoverse gameplay in the background of this because I don't have anything else to shove in the background. I'm not like a Sefta program where I can spend like a month editing a video and have like infinite images to put in the background for you guys. Again, love you all, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care and peace.